2019 at 7:30 shall commence. Please stand for our prayer and pledge.
We bow our heads to pray. May each of us thank our Creator for the privilege of living in and serving our community. We ask for wisdom and guidance in any and all decisions. We also ask for the protection of the members of our armed forces. Pray for their safe return and give strength to their loved ones. As we ask in thy name. Amen.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Go Navy.
We do a roll call vote.
Council Chair Mayor Patrick T. Riley.
Here
Vice Chair Steve Rivet.
is excused.
Council members Grant Ball.
Here.
Brian Vale.
Here.
Dick Horn.
Here.
Danny White.
Here.
County Administrator Matt Stinnett.
Here.
County Attorney Carl Bone.
Here.
County Engineer Morris Smith.
Here.
Town Planner Todd Mowry.
Here.
I'm the Town Clerk Treasurer Debbie Franklin. And for the record, the Fire Chief Mike Foley and the Public Works Director Tom Mallory are also present.
Thank you. Is there any additions, deletions, or changes to the agenda?
Mr. Chair, I had one popular request. At 5:22 this evening, I received an email from the attorney who represents Mr. and Mrs. Gordon on agenda item, whatever it is. And in that email, he raised an issue pertaining to Mr. Ball's ability to vote tonight. Again, that was at 5:22, I didn't know if it was 10:06, I'll even do it. And I have not been able to analyze the request or what he suggests concerning Mr. Ball's potential conflict. And I feel uncomfortable with proceeding with that matter because of that issue being raised, and it needs to be briefed. Just so you know, if Mr. Ball did have a conflict tonight, if that was the ruling, that would be only 3 members available to vote. And it would take the vote of all 3 to approve or deny the request. So I'm respectfully requesting at this time, due to the raising of that issue at that late hour, that the matter be postponed to the next council meeting.
Is it tabled or just postponed?
Postpone it. It doesn't have to take this.
Okay.
Just postpone it because it's just not fair to Mr. Ball or anyone else here to have something go forward and then invite us down the road.
I will move in second, so that's suggestion.
Can I get a second?
I second.
Any discussion?
Well, first off, I have 2 things I'd like to say. Number one, I really can't think of any reason that Grant could not vote. I don't see a conflict, but you'll have to decide that for us. Secondly, though, I would not like to take any action on this matter with not having a full county council here. I think it's very important for that to happen. Now, all these people here that filled out all these cards, I think we need to listen to what they have to say, okay?
You can do
No, they
that,
can't.
but I would advise against it for this reason. You normally would not respond, especially when it's going to come up at a full hearing or meeting in 2 other meetings. So, you know, I would prefer, again, I'll leave it up to council, I prefer that not occur, just to protect both the citizens' rights and the applicant's rights. I mean, it's just, we want to be fair across the board here. Okay, so, you know, what invariably is going to happen is it's going to become a hearing. And we can't, I don't think we can do that tonight. Because of what was raised at the last minute. But again, I respectfully will let you guys decide what you want to do on that.
We can't hear.
Any other discussion? What's that?
I think we can do I apologize.
Postponed to August 19th.
August 19th.
Still in the meeting, so excuse me.
Go enjoy your meeting. This is ridiculous. Y'all came here to support a local business. You got one politician grandstanding to ruin it for everybody. It's out of control. You've been like this for decades, all of you. I love my town, but I can't stand
Excuse me, take it outside.
I absolutely, gladly. And my business. Okay, bye. I don't know, but he's got a good voice.
He's pissed off. Kevin is pissed off.
Yeah.
Palm Bay loves it. Everyone's here for
Hi, Morris.
All right, so please come back in 2 weeks.
You're good, Joe. I'm coming back in.
Yeah, do it all again. This is the final. We can. I'm coming earlier.
All right, we're going to move on to consent agenda. I'll accept a motion for approval of the regular town council meeting minutes of July 15, 2019.
I'll make that motion.
Any discussion?
Sorry, made second.
For the PE license, the different types of accreditations, acceptance by DEP.
Entertain a motion for the approval of the council
PE license.
road workshop meeting
We got
minutes
one from the
of
bank.
July 29, 2019. Any discussion? All in favor? Motion carried 4-0. I'll entertain a motion for the approval of the council special meeting minutes of July 29, 2019.
I'll second that one.
Any discussion? All in favor? Any motion carried 4-0. Ready to move on to attorney's report? Thank you. Of our county sheriff. Move on to trailing greenways committee report.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, members of council. The Trails and Greenways Committee has not done a formal report from the podium since April 1st, so it's good to be back. And I have a couple things to mention. When I spoke to you last, we were about to propose to the TPO, Space Coast Transportation Planning Organization, basically 7 projects that involve essentially widened sidewalks, ADA type, Altubble type sidewalk extensions that at least had one portion beginning or terminating within Malabar for the town. And basically what happened is those submissions went in, 7 different projects went into TPO, and they were considered. There were some questions, and this is what I think I proposed to you when I last spoke with y'all, was that our goal was to get on the list. We made it to the list. The list is somewhat nebulous. We're dealing with grants from DOT. And the idea is that hopefully in the future we'll be able to get some dollars freed up to basically help connect our paved portions of our trails, or connect to the Altubble trails, so that more people are intending to be able to use our trails and our trail system through these different peripheral areas. One of those things, the longest tangent, is basically going down Marie Street and connecting us to Grant Calcaria via a paved trail, albeit not to disturb any horse trail or pedestrian trail from a walking type trail. This would be parallel. The idea being is that the state of Florida seems to be very interested in paved trails. That's where the ecotourism dollars seem to be flowing. That seems to be where the grant money is. So when we thought about what it would take for the future of Malabar to really come together and have the best trail system, this is a certain component. So again, those 7 items will be discussed further at the TPO. Your town administrator, Matt Stinnett, and I will be up there with Murray Ham from the Trails Committee and talking to the TPO administrator. And we're basically going to go over essentially what our thoughts were, our ideas, and kind of get some feedback and input. For instance, there's certain engineering components that we do not have available within the town of Malabar that we might have to borrow from neighboring communities such as City of Palm Bay. We'll also be talking with Grant Valcaria on some of that connectivity. But the idea being is that the TPO has acknowledged that essentially these tangents, these segments make sense. And they're looking at putting it together as somewhat of a package, which is what we kind of hope for. So if this moves forward in the future, it's going to be based on what we can kind of make some initial headway here by talking as far as what our responsibilities would be. And I'm not really talking economic, I'm really talking steps in a process. These aren't guaranteed grants, but the dollars do come through. It will help property values in town of Malabar and help the South Brevard experience living here, because we'll have more ways to travel on a paved trail in a woodsy situation without having to worry about a car coming down the road. So that's kind of the big news there. One other thing, you may not have seen it because everybody goes to the Space Coast TPO webpage, but there's a video actually of the Owl Tuttle Trail. It involves some folks from our community, horseback and biking, so you might want to take a look at that. Another thing that we're dealing with now that comes together with our future trailhead, that is going to be a horse-based trailhead, equestrian, down on Marie Street. We want to start doing some signage along Marie Street. And this is part of where we want to go, because we're going to need some help on that from local volunteers and such. We really want people to identify and understand what we can do and really where this trail is. It's sort of nebulous. Once you get south of Malabar Road, Marie Street kind of is which side of the road, where is it, all that type thing. So what we're wanting to do is put in some kind of very simplistic trail signage. We're not talking lit up banners or anything, we're talking simple post-based signage. So we'll be pursuing that in the near future within this year's budget is our game plan. So kind of to tell you where we're going, and we do hope to get back out there. I know the town, Matt has helped us quite a bit with what, getting that started out there. We're probably now waiting for low tide again. Kind of on that. I hope all the folks here tonight were wanting to volunteer and had shown up ahead of time.
I played golf yesterday. Rubber boots and waivers.
Okay. All right. Well, basically where we're going is we can't have people show up to work on something if they can't find it. So some of the signage we hope to put in. Mr. Carter.
And I realized you were going to do the report tonight entitled TPO. One of my biggest concerns is the safety of people. And where the trail crosses Malabar Road, have we done everything that's humanly possible to warn the drivers on Malabar Road, both eastbound and westbound, that there's a trail crossing there?
Well, I'm not qualified as an engineer for, civil engineering, but in my opinion, we have not. We have attempted as a committee to represent the concerns that you just mentioned. We have requested even so much as having a bridge there that was equestrian level, but that was kind of left off. We did get signage.
I can't say for sure whether I'm right or wrong, but I don't believe we ever even put the markings on the pavement, on the road, that that's a trail crossing. And I know that there are some trail crossings around the state. I'm thinking more of St. Johns County specifically, where it crosses Highway 207. It's painted right on the state highway. That this is a trail crossing, a very vivid warning to the people. I brought it up here before, and they said TPO says no, but I bet they don't say no, or DOT said no. I bet we can talk them into saying yes, if we think that's an important thing to have.
In the various iterations of the PD&E for the road, Malabar Road project, Trails and Greenways Committee representation has been there and voiced both in writing, follow-up, and in person to those engineers of, I can't think of the name of it.
What I'm saying is people are crossing that road now, and it's a long time before they do anything major to the road. People can die between now and then if a motorist doesn't know that it's a trail crossing.
It has been,
we need to do something now.
I recommend that on behalf of the town, that the town request that further. I can assure you your Trails and Greenways Committee has done its best effort in representing the town in various
If I may continue for a moment, Matt, I saw you nodding. You are representative to the Department of Transportation, basically TDO. Do we need action of the council to make that request, or can you go based on this conversation now?
I can go based on this conversation and see what we can get done.
And if we need a motion, advise me and I'll make such a motion. Thank you.
And if I may, Mr. Corn, with regard to Mr. Stinnett, there's some communications from the past that I will pass to you so that you and not start from scratch on this issue. You'll see what efforts were made in the past from the committee level. So hopefully that can be reinforced in some details you might be able to borrow.
There's been a lot of talk recently at the TAC for crossing safety, so I think it'd be a positive topic right there.
Yeah, it sure will. And there's actually coming up a symposium that's going to occur that is TPO based. And the effort, your concerns are not alone. Florida, unfortunately, Brevard County's, I don't know what we're number 3 or 4, but we're in like the top 5 of the state for bad places to try to survive our roads. As a pedestrian or bike, and I'm not sure the proper way of saying it, but they've done certain studies, and we're now, the BPTAC is having privy to some of this information coming in from the TPO. And your local TPO is making a major effort to go with a zero base. The idea is they want 0 serious problems. You're always going to fall off your bike in your driveway or something, can't help that. But preventable accidents by pedestrians and bicyclists, the goal is to get that down to 0, the preventable ones. And that's only going to happen is if people like Mr. Horn voice their concerns and we as a council come together and represent the town. Obviously that'll take it further. We've got a serious thing. It's not news to Brevard. Brevard's biggest embarrassment is probably walking outside near a street or trying to hop on a bike safely, which I think is, in a good mode, if I can segue to something positive, I think that adds ammunition to our paved segments in the woods. There's no cars out there, or there shouldn't be at least. So, if we can do that, again, you're talking of a crossing where the trails cross the roads and it's a major road. We have really tried in the past. There are incentives to try to do that as far as tourism and things like that. We may be able to leverage that way.
We took an action to have Matt look at it, so.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm vacillating on there, so.
Any other questions? Thank you.
Okay, thank you all.
Thanks, Drew.
Park and Rec Board? Not here. Planning and Zoning? Steve?
Wayne Haire, 2530 Rocky Point Road. I haven't been here in some months, but for the last month, we canceled the first meeting. I was out of town in Texas for service. And the second meeting was the board and public hearing concerning rezoning from CP, coastal preservation, to commercial general. And tonight we're going to go into that in much more detail. I guess we'll do 2 weeks from now. And Debbie did a good job of summarizing what happened. And I'll go into more detail 2 weeks if I'm asked. But just to summarize it, I entertained a motion to accept. There was no motion made or a second. So then we made a motion to deny, and it was seconded. And the motion to deny passed 4-1. That's a 20,000-foot level summary. Like I said, I'll go into more detail 2 weeks from now. Any questions? Comments?
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we move on to staff reports. Matt?
All right, nothing significant this time.
Move on to Tom, Public Works.
Hey, good evening. Basically, we had some equipment problems this month, so we're a little bit backed up. The excavator had the same problem with the fan again, breaking, so it's being paid for the 4th time under warranty. Our Sterling dump truck was down for about a week. We also had several people on vacation this month, so we're a little bit backed up. But we did manage to get some things done. We got the culverts done on Weber Road to finish that drainage project that we started on the east side, so they were lowered to the proper height. And we finally got around to fixing the bathroom in Malabar Park. We had to replace the toilet in there. And just, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, just received your, Matt sent out what's going to happen in August, so that should be in your email. So any other questions?
Any comments on
Grant?
the drainage we've been having? I mean, now, we put a lot of work into the ditches and the ditch system. And are we seeing return on that with this heavy rain we've just had?
Yeah, it's flowing out there.
I noticed last night, real early this morning, the water was almost level with Weber Road. As we go down there now, it's 15, 18 inches below that. I mean, it's drained out quite a bit with the work you've done on the east side. On those ditches on Weber Road, they look good and they appear to be working. I watched it every time I go down the road. I look. Is the water higher or lower? And it is working. Now, where is the water going?
On my property.
Goes out the corridor.
Because there is some, the problem between Malabar and Hall,
Yes.
where that water goes, but it went away. Somebody put on next door a picture of that whole corner flooded, but it's not now. The water's all gone. So something is working.
All right, any other questions?
I left my shop Saturday night, a little after 7, somewhere around Saturday. As I went past the intersection of Apps and Corey, the water was up to the head walls about 3 inches below the asphalt. Down Smith Lane, same thing, I made references to where the water was. Exactly 12 hours later, I was headed to Malabar Road to play golf, and in rubber boots, but I noticed that Smith Lane had dropped roughly 7 inches, and at the corner Atts and Corey, every bit of 12 inches, 12 hours. It's going somewhere, it's working.
Yeah, I'd like to say also, I don't know if it was everywhere, like you said, you had a little less than 2 inches at your property, but at my house, my pool was about this far below the top of the pool, and in 1 hour it overflowed my pool. I mean, that was an easy 4 inches of rain in 1 hour. And again, that was Saturday. Friday, I drive down Corey Road when I get past Benjamin, and I hear some people say, well, Grant Valkyrie does a great job with just contracting out their help. Well, all that water on Corey Road, south of Benjamin, was up to the roadway on Friday. This was before the, what I would call biblical rain shower that I experienced Saturday, you know. And my brother drove in from North Carolina today. He's looking to move here and bring all this stuff and put it in the storage across the street until then. And I jokingly said to him when he stepped out of the Penske truck in my driveway, welcome to the Florida wetlands. And he said, man, it was flowing like a river there on Corey, you know. So I do think we've made some improvements, you know. I had somebody comment, what improvements have you seen? It's a slow and gradual and constant work, but I think we've made improvements. The situation where Hall Road constantly overflowed there at Weber, that was pretty much stopped until this rain Saturday. I saw Sunday morning when I went out, there was still a little bit of water going over that road because we have not finished that section there.
It's back down now.
Yeah, and it didn't used to go down.
Yeah, it used to take several days to go down.
So anyway, I just wanted to comment what I've seen, and thank you.
I noticed Eva's working very well. I went down to Eva's today, I was putting up signs for the pancake breakfast on Saturday Fire Department. But down Eva, both sides, I mean, the water was down there.
Yeah, we talked about cleaning out the rest of that canal through Briar Creek over there.
Yeah, those ditches were kind of normal level. There was no overflowing whatsoever.
Any other questions?
No.
All right, thank you.
Thanks.
All right, we'll move on to Fire Chief.
Good evening, everybody. From June 6th to July 18th, we responded to 18 EMS calls, 3 vehicle accidents with injury, 1 vehicle accident without injury, 5 public assists, 5 cancellations, 1 false alarm, for a total of 28 calls. As you noticed, the fire station got painted. The prisoners came out from Clark County, and they started on July 9th and 10th. They returned today to do the bay doors, which are now red from gray. They'll be back tomorrow to finish around the trim of the windows, and we're just trying to schedule for town hall to get done by the sheriff's department. Also, Mr. Ball, we sold the ladder truck. It was sold last week. We're just waiting for the check to clear, and so that's that. Also, Mr. Bell, thank you for the pancake breakfast this Saturday. I'd love to see everyone out at the fire station from 9 to 1 for pancake breakfast. This is our 3rd annual. Every second Saturday of the month, we'll be doing the pancake breakfast at the fire station. Love to see you all out there. Also, we applied for a $31,000 state grant, which is 100%. We should be hearing from that in another 2 to 3 weeks. Any other questions?
Any questions? All right, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Danny.
The only thing I have is to announce that candidate qualifying for District Seats 4 and 5 will begin on Wednesday, August 7th at 8:30 a.m. and will close the following Wednesday on the 14th at 4:30 p.m. That's all.
Any questions? Thank you. All right, we move on to public comments. I received 1 card. Well, actually, what I'm going to say is I have like 20 cards here. I went through them. I'm pretty sure they're all about the land zoning change. Anybody else have anything that wasn't land zoning for those yellow dog? Okay. Don Danielson, please come up, state your name and address for the record.
What's the deal?
Don Danielson, 1690 Hall Road, Malabar, Florida. Several months ago, I gave each of the councilmen, Public Works Director, and I believe TA Stinnett, a rubber ducky. And that was a prelude to the fact that Skip Card had gotten 144 rubber duckies for the town of Malabar. I would very, very much like it if we could, at this time of high water, distribute the rubber duckies, because a lot of people are not convinced that the water flows the same direction when it's really high in the ditch as when it's lower in the ditch. And I've seen myself that happen on a couple of different locations. So if it would be all right with you, we could have Deb put out an article that goes to everybody that gets emails from the website, saying that these are available from the councilman, from the TA, from the Public Works Director, and from Don Danielson and Skip Hart. And I would love to take these, have people write their address on them, float it down the ditch nearest to them, and tell us what direction it went. Then we could put that all on the chart, and it would go a long way toward completing the intersection elevations that have been done so far. I think you said that there was about 40% of it left. We wouldn't have the elevations, but we would know which way the water's flowing, and if we could put that all on a map, we'd be so much closer to our plan for our stormwater drainage. It's just a thought. I've got 144 of them here.
Are you gonna pick them up enough for people to put them in the ditch?
I will be happy to do that.
You show up when everybody puts them in the ditch. And, excuse me, but the water in my ditch in front of my house always only flows one way.
Oh, I'm sure that's probably true.
And where have you seen it flow 2 different ways?
Between, at the southeast corner of Hall and Corey, by that guy's driveway that's plugged up.
Yeah.
Sometimes just south of him, it flows north, and sometimes it flows south. I've witnessed that 3 times myself.
I can always tell which way the water's flowing, if it's flowing or not. That's the real question.
Right. Yeah.
By the grass or whatever's on the surface of it. You can see how it goes and collects, like on one side of the culvert, and not on the other side, means it's And I want to be sure that these things don't become litter.
That's what I'm afraid of.
Right, of course, of course.
And that's the real, if we're doing what you're suggesting, it's littering the town.
No,
I like the idea, I mean, the one you gave us before does real well in my hot tub. I swim with it when I get my hot tub.
Any
And
other,
kind of a regular basis.
any other discussion on this matter? Thank you. Thank you.
Can I hand you out
Thank
each
you.
dozen?
Thank you.
May I hand out everybody?
Thank you.
No, thank you.
Are you saying
Time's
no?
Time's up.
But
This is public
I
comment.
appreciate your interest.
I'll move on to our first public hearing, ordinance 2019-09, amending chapter 11, providing for public right-of-way. Please read by title only.
An ordinance of the Town of Malabar, Brevard County, Florida, amending Chapter 11, Sections 11-8, subparagraph A of the Code of Ordinances of the town, providing for the maintenance of property, providing for conflicts, severability, codification, providing for an effective date.
Thank you. I'll open up the public hearing. Anyone from the public wish to speak? Public hearing is closed. Move on to staff. I'll go with Carl first with nothing.
Nothing new since last time we talked.
Okay. All right, anything from staff? All right. I'll entertain a motion for approval of ordinance 2019-09.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Any further discussion? Okay, we'll do a roll call vote, please.
Councilmember Ball?
Aye.
Councilmember Vale?
Aye.
Councilmember Rivet?
Excused.
Councilmember Corn?
Aye.
Councilmember White?
Aye.
Motion carried 4-0.
Thank you. Move on to ordinance 2019-10, amending section 2.03 of chapter regarding qualifying period, second reading. I'll open up the public. Please read by public. Please read by
Title.
title.
The charter.
An
Chapter.
ordinance
Hold on,
of,
hold on.
I'm just, he just called it chapters of the charter.
Yeah.
It should be charter, not chapter.
It's charter regarding.
Yeah, you said chapter.
Okay.
Just so it's clear. But the title will be read correctly.
All right, thank you.
an ordinance of the Town of Malabar, Brevard County, Florida, amending section 2.03 of the charter regarding the candidate qualifying period to conform with Senate Bill 7066, providing for codification, providing for severability, providing for repeal of ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict herewith, providing for an effective date.
We'll open up the public hearing. Anyone from the public wish to speak? All right, I'll close the public hearing. Does staff have any comments?
I have nothing additional other than this is what the legislature did to us. They made us move out of qualifying period.
Anything, David?
No, sir.
Okay. All right, I'll entertain a motion for approval of ordinance 2019
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
Any discussion?
I'd like to say, just for information's sake, that nobody in the council wanted such a short qualifying period, but we were hamstrung by the state
I
legislature.
would vote in favor of this, if there is an understanding.
So we,
Next year, it will be expanded back to 2 weeks. We don't have time to do it for 2 weeks this year.
right,
Getting too late to start.
and we'll have to attack that next year.
Correct.
How did that sneak up on us? Didn't that happen once before?
Debbie found out about it. Go ahead, Debbie.
In 2007, it was done in the legislative period of 2007 to become effective in 2008. This year, they did it, and after the session closed, that law became effective July 1 of the same year.
So back to what I was saying, I won't be sitting here next year, but those who will remain on the council, those 3 members, do you folks feel like you would want to have a motion next year, bring it back to 2 weeks?
If I'm still here, I will want to do this.
Grant will still, I think Ryan will still be here.
Any other discussion? All right, we'll do a roll call vote.
Councilmember Ball.
Aye.
Councilmember Vale.
Aye.
Councilmember Rivet.
Excuse.
Councilmember Corn.
Aye.
Councilmember White.
Aye.
Motion carried 4-0.
Still not here.
Okay, we've postponed the land use change, but I do have a question for Carl. So the 19th would be our first reading,
Correct.
and 2 weeks, or the first meeting in September would be the public hearing.
Okay, and we'll re-advertise it. It's cheap enough, we're just
I'm
gonna,
sorry.
we're gonna re-advertise.
First reading is already taken care of, because we advertised it for a public hearing.
Right.
So you just have to announce it as first reading,
That
and
is
then we'll
first reading.
re-advertise for the
Second.
public hearing on September 9th.
And that's only if we get everything in order by,
But we'll have an answer.
in 2 weeks.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
It's that important, we gotta address it, we gotta address it.
Okay. All right, thank you. You may go. You are excused.
We don't have a back door to sneak out.
Probably a great game.
Kane, you're not in trouble when you're leaving.
All right, we have no discussion, we have no public comments, so we'll move on to reports. Brian? Hello?
Only thing I'd like to say, I'm really happy I brought that up, just to get it out, that our Public Works Department seems like we're doing, we're making inroads into solving the drainage problem, so thanks for everybody involved in that, and the hard work that's been put into it. That's all I got.
Well, I'm kind of sorry the way things turned out tonight, but I think it didn't fall on our shoulders. It was something they did there. And I don't want to get Matt in trouble here, but we talked about something this morning that he brought up, and it made me feel pretty optimistic. You've heard me say before that one thing I would like to do when we find some room in the budget to come up with a fund that we can put aside to provide an incentive for some of these people that live on the gravel lanes to help them pave their lane. Nothing extraordinary, but maybe subsidize 15 or 20% of the cost of paving their lane, because I've run across some people in my district that would like to pave their lane and can't get the number that we have to do, like you did on Smith, Brian. And Matt said that he talked to the people.
The county that collects the transportation impact fees.
Right, and we may be able to, I thought that we could not use any of that fund to do such a thing, and they told Matt maybe we could.
It's
So,
improving.
Huh?
It's improving the road surface.
And it's just like anything else, as soon as we pave a lane, our workload on the town goes down tremendously. And everybody that lives in that lane, their standard of living goes up tremendously. And I would really like to try to pursue that. I just wanted to say it looks like it's a possibility.
I think that I can see help as far as we bring the substrate up to where it needs to be paved. But if we start paying these people to pave it, we're gonna have to give back to some other people.
No, I don't agree with that. Is that when we do something like that, got Brian's attention there, but I do believe that you can do something where you say from this point forward, and to be required to go back and reimburse people that have paved their lane would be an unfair burden.
That's like
Now,
Steve.
yeah, getting back to what you just said, I'm open to ideas on how that could take place.
Yeah, I think
Whether
we
it's
can
the
bring-
substrate or
I think we
whether
can
it's a
bring the
percentage.
substrate up.
But I think it's something we should talk about that would help people get over that hurdle where somebody that says, I can't afford it, might be willing to if the price of it came down somewhat, you know. So it's just what I'd like to do.
Vic?
Yeah, I've got some notes here that are a result of a newscast on Fox News yesterday, and some phone call I got this morning. And something that I've been saying on and again, off again. We don't really have much in the way of community development. And when I say community, I'm talking about people on people type of community. We have no real, we got a Parks and Recreation Board with no place to do much in the way of recreation if it's not a ball field. I think we need to develop a sense of community activities. One of the things that is happening now is the pancake breakfast every second Saturday at the fire department, and this goes a long ways towards that. And Brian asked me today, but I helped put out some of the signs about it. And I was glad to. I didn't go volunteer it, but I was glad to be asked if I would have volunteered had I realized that it was that time. But we need to come up with some community activities, some things are going on. We need a building in the park, like the little building used to be out at Rhodes Park, or something where we can have indoor activities in the realm of parks and recreation. We have nothing. This building here was built as a community center for recreation. And the county in 1962 gave the town the permission to have council meetings here until they got a city hall or town hall. And we need to be looking. I had a call this morning wanting to know why we're not doing, pursuing a town hall and why we don't have a community center. And my answer was because we're trying to keep the lowest ad valorem tax rate in the world. And we do have it. Well, maybe not the world, just the world with Florida. Another thing I can remember when I first moved here, and that was in '87, and even right out through the early 2000s, we weren't paying the council members, even though this man on Corey Road can't believe we're not being paid a considerable amount of money to be council members. We're not being paid anything. But you guys, some of you know who I'm talking about, I won't call his name. Demands that we do more work because of all, and earn the money we're making. I'd like to earn the money I'm making now.
Well, double your salary.
But back then, every council member was given $500 a year as a discretionary fund, so that that money could go out to various charities of their choice and so forth. I remember when my son was killed in Iraq. $250, $50 per council member actually went to the Bethesda Home for Boys, which he was supporting in Savannah. And I don't know where that money disappeared to, but that was $500 that was going to each council seat, not as payment for the council member. They couldn't spend it on themselves, but it was something they could do in community development or in charity type of thing.
And on the committee, the finance committee, we voted as citizens to eliminate that because we didn't have funds, and we had all approval from every council member to give their $500 discretionary funds and take it off the budget.
And I was the councilor at that time, but and I didn't argue about it at the time, but it was the funds that were given in honor of my son were very much appreciated and went to a good cause. Now, I think we need to, as we're approaching the budget time, and as we're approaching a question on the ballot this year about budget, we need to consider the fact that we should have a budget that can do that which is needed to justify us being an incorporated municipality. And we're not. We don't have that right now. I mean, we have there might be 2 out of the 412 municipalities in Florida. There might be 2 that have a lower ad valorem rate. One of them is Grant Belcarry, because they have no public works, they have no very little staff. And they hire everything out, it's all on special assessments, which we don't have that bunch of special assessments. I mean, out of our little ad valorem tax, we have one of the better fire departments in the state. My point is we need to raise our budget, we need to raise our tax, and we need to do that which justifies us us be an incorporated municipality. And if you think about it, not only the campaign costs for somebody who has to campaign to get a job sitting up here. I know for the last year, I spent over $2,000. Not a nice campaign. But the fact is, how much money does it cost? How much time is it taking? You figured yours out one time, Grant. What it costs, what you would be making spending this kind of time, because we spend a lot of time here. I'm not looking to make money sitting here. I'm not going to be sitting here. But those who are need to be rewarded. I don't know what the right word is here, but they need to be recognized as servants to the community and paid accordingly.
Anything else to report? All right, now, Jim, you had a question or something. Please come up to the podium.
Jim Rolston, 2480 Malabar Road. I have a hard time chewing down the situation here with the roads in this township. It's the only township I've ever been in where you want people to pay your roads. Never heard that in my life anywhere I've lived. My uncle lives in Melbourne by the flea market out there. I lived with him for a while. When the third house was built on the road, they paved it. If there's two houses on the road, you live on dirt. But once the third house is built, they pave it to the third house, wherever it is. If there's more houses, then they continue it. It's your road. Why am I going to pay to pave your road? Then if I pay to pave your road, I want to put up a toll booth and charge people to drive on it then, because now I'm part owner of it. I don't understand it. As a town, we supply the roads for the people to drive on. Well, if we... Oh, wait a minute. There are roads, are they not?
We have to build.
They're the township roads, correct?
I have to build, well.
They're the township roads, correct? Public road.
After they are built by the people that live on them.
But they belong to the town, that's the point.
Yeah. That's the point that I'm making, and I've never seen it anywhere else, and I don't understand how it got started here in the way it is. But my theory is, and my thoughts are, that people live on these dirt roads, they need to be maintained, number one, and when you have the third, the fourth, or the fifth house on the road, then it's our obligation as taxpayers and council members to supply these people with a road to drive on, like all the other municipalities do. That's my theory. I have no problem paying $250,000, $500,000 to put the kitty in there to help pave the roads for our people. I mean, I live on a state highway and I drive on 12 feet of your road, you know? I have no problem with not paying taxes and having a road paved. But I just have a hard time understanding you want me to pave the road out in front of my house. It's your road. That's all I want to say. Thanks a lot.
Go ahead.
Just to put it in perspective, the ad valorem money that's generated for the budget in our town is about $460,000, I want to say, Debbie?
Closer to five.
Closer to five.
Five, but with the,
Half a million.
yeah, so.
It's what percentage
Not quite 500,000 is what we pay as taxpayers into the budget. So, and that has to provide many, many services, and it's just not there enough to support the paving of the roads. So that's.
We're not charging them. I mean, I looked at our tax bill from last year. We're paying less than $100 a year to Malabar in taxes. I mean, tax bill is nothing. It's a very small part of that total county tax bill that we get.
Roughly
now, the trip notices are going to go out, and there's going to be a lot of uneducated conversation
Do an assessment.
about the trim notices. And people, everybody's thinking we're going to raise the town's part of it to $2,000 per house or something. No.
All right,
Nobody
thanks.
said anything.
That happened last year.
All right, I don't have anything, so without objection, the meeting adjourned.
Do we need to make a motion to direct Matt for the attorney's suggestion to signage on Melbourne Road? The attorney kind of nodded that it would be nice if Matt had a motion.
He said he could do it without.
It sounded like we kind of already made that motion to pass.
Yeah.
Okay, the attorney said a motion would be nice as well.
Well, he does what we tell him to do. He's not a city manager. He's an administrator. He does what we say, so if we want him to do it, we make the motion.
Make a motion.
I so move.
Second.
I'll second.
Any discussion?
I think we discussed.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried.
You gotta,
You got it.
Yes, Juliana, please come up to the podium and state your name and address for the record.
I can hardly walk, so I'm going to just.
Go ahead.
Just yell.
I'm just worried about this road stuff. Assessment, like every other municipality does. The city starts the road, I own the property, I pay the assessment, like everybody else in the whole world, except in Malabar. They attack each one individually.
Okay, thank you.
I do have 20 acres up in Gilchrist that's considered privately maintained and or improved as well. So Gilchrist County, Gainesville, Ginnie Springs,
Yeah, Wayne.
still in the state.
Wayne Haire, 2530 Rocky Point Road. I just want to make the counter to his argument. I developed Coquina Point, I paid for the road, and then we put up a performance bond for $10,000 for 2 years, and the town took over the road to maintain it. So, not everybody gets a free road. And because there was a road there, we could charge more money for the property. If you buy a lot on a dirt road, you pay less for it.
Correct.
So when you put the road in, the property's worth more money. That's all I have.
All right, thanks. All right, without objection, meeting adjourned at 8:22.
You know what, I grew up right here.
Yes.